Hello! Welcome to Capital Sensei. Today we're diving deep into a book that has shaken up the world of personal finance. You Are a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. We'll unpack her core ideas about transforming your financial reality, not just by crunching numbers, but by rewiring your entire mindset. We'll cover everything from your hidden beliefs about wealth, the so-called energy of money, and how to take decisive, powerful actions that can change your bottom line. Whenever we can, we answer questions in the comments. This channel is all about learning together, so I really encourage you to share your own experiences with money, your doubts, or even your biggest financial fears. Your story might be the one that helps someone else have that aha moment. So, let's build a strong community right here. All right, let's get into it. Jen Sincero's book is interesting because from an economist's perspective, it spends very little time on spreadsheets and budgets. Instead, it focuses almost entirely on the psychological infrastructure you build around money. Sincero's central argument is that most of our financial struggles don't come from a lack of opportunity or skill, but from a lifetime of accumulated subconscious beliefs that actively repel wealth. These are the little stories we tell ourselves, often without even realizing it. Things like, money is the root of all evil. Rich people are greedy, or I'm just not good with money. Think of your brain as a supercomputer. Your conscious mind, the part you're using to listen to me right now, is the user interface. It's what you see on the screen. But your subconscious mind is the operating system, running deep in the background. If your operating system is programmed with a poverty or scarcity virus, it doesn't matter what amazing wealth applications you try to install on top. The underlying code will constantly sabotage your efforts, causing the program to crash. You might get a bonus at work, only to have your car unexpectedly break down for the exact same amount. Coincidence? Sincero would argue it's your subconscious OS keeping you in your financial comfort zone. From a behavioral economics standpoint, this isn't as out there as it might sound. We now know that humans are not the perfectly rational creatures that classical economics once assumed. We are riddled with cognitive biases. For example, we suffer from what's called loss aversion. The pain of losing $100 feels twice as powerful as the joy of gaining $100. This deeply ingrained fear can make us incredibly timid with our money, preferring the safety of a zero-interest savings account over the potential growth of the stock market, even when logic and history show that investing is the path to wealth creation. So, the first step Sincero demands is a radical, honest audit of your own beliefs. You have to become an archaeologist of your own mind, digging up the fossils of your financial programming. Where did these ideas come from? Did you hear your parents fighting about bills constantly? Did a teacher make a passing comment about your math skills? Did you grow up with a religious or cultural belief that wanting money was somehow immoral or unspiritual? These seemingly small moments install powerful code that runs your life on autopilot. You have to drag these beliefs out into the light and examine them. Once you've identified these limiting beliefs, you can't just wish them away. Sincero's method for overwriting this old programming is active and intentional. It involves things like affirmations and visualization. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Affirmations? Isn't that just cheesy self-help stuff? And I get the skepticism. But let's reframe it in a more technical way. Think of your brain's neural pathways like footpaths in a grassy field. The thoughts you have most often create deep, well-trodden paths that are easy to walk down. Your negative beliefs about money are like superhighways in your brain. An affirmation like, I am a magnet for wealth and abundance, is an attempt to create a new, tiny footpath in the grass. Saying it once does almost nothing. The old highway is still right there, and your brain will naturally take the path of least resistance. But if you walk that new path every single day, consciously and with feeling, the grass starts to wear down. Over time, you build a new, viable pathway. You are literally rewiring your brain. In neuroscience, this is called Hebbian theory. Neurons that fire together, wire together. You are creating new neural networks dedicated to a reality of wealth instead of scarcity. Visualization works on a similar principle. When you vividly imagine yourself achieving a financial goal, not just the outcome, but the feeling of it, the sights, the sounds, your brain doesn't fully distinguish between the detailed visualization and the actual experience. It releases some of the same neurochemicals. This does two things. First, it makes the goal feel less alien and more attainable, reducing the fear and resistance to taking action. Second, it primes your brain's filtering system to notice opportunities that align with that goal. It's like deciding you want to buy a red car. Suddenly, you see red cars everywhere. They were always there, but your brain was filtering them out. Now, you're telling your brain to look for opportunities to make an extra $1,000, and you'll start to see them. Sincero pairs this with the practice of gratitude. This isn't just about being thankful, and it's about shifting your entire focus. When you are constantly worried about what you don't have, the debt, the bills, the lack of savings, you are training your brain to see only lack. You're living in a deficit mindset. By forcing yourself to be grateful for what you do have, even if it's just the $10 in your pocket, you are switching your focus to abundance. You are acknowledging the presence of money in your life, not its absence. This small shift can have a profound impact on your emotional state, which in turn influences your decisions. A person operating from a place of gratitude is less likely to make panicked, fear-based financial choices. Now let's move on to one of Sincero's more abstract concepts, money as energy. She argues that money is not just paper or numbers on a screen. It's a form of energetic exchange. It needs to flow. When you hoard money out of fear, you stagnate its energy. When you spend it with resentment or guilt, you attach negative energy to it. The goal is to become a clear and open channel for money to flow both to you and through you. Let's translate this into economic terms. The concept of flow has a direct and powerful parallel in macroeconomics, the velocity of money. The velocity of money is a measure of how quickly money circulates in an economy. If everyone takes their paycheck and hides it under the mattress, the velocity is zero. The economy grinds to a halt. But if I get paid, use that money to hire a plumber, who then uses that money to buy groceries, who then pays their employees, that same $100 has generated hundreds of dollars of economic activity. It has a high velocity. On a personal level, your financial velocity is critical. Money sitting in a checking account is losing value every single day due to inflation. That's a stagnant pool. Money you invest in a business, in the stock market, or in your own education is money in motion. It's being put to work to create more value. This is the flow Sincero talks about. Even spending money can be part of a healthy flow. When you happily pay for a product or service that brings you value, you are participating in this economic dance. You are sending money out with a positive intention, which is far healthier than clutching it tightly until you're forced to part with it resentfully to pay a bill. Sincero stresses the importance of being a willing receiver. This is a huge stumbling block for many people. We've been taught it's better to give than to receive. So when someone offers to buy us lunch, or gives us a compliment, or presents a lucrative opportunity, our first instinct is often to deflect or refuse. We feel unworthy or like we'll be indebted. Sincero argues that you have to train yourself to simply say thank you and accept the abundance. If you're constantly telling the universe you're not open to receiving, it will eventually stop trying to give things to you. In practical terms, if you project an aura of not wanting help or opportunity, people will stop offering it. The flip side of this is being a cheerful and generous giver. This isn't just about charity, although that can be a part of it. It's about your attitude when you spend any money. Do you feel a pang of pain every time you swipe your card? Or do you see it as an investment? Paying your rent isn't losing money. It's investing in shelter and comfort. Buying groceries isn't a drain. It's an investment in your health and energy. Shifting your perspective from losing money to directing money is a fundamental change. It makes you a more conscious and powerful participant in your own financial life. This brings us to what is arguably the most important part of the entire book, taking massive, unapologetic, and often scary action. All the mindset work, affirmations, and visualizations in the world are useless if you stay on your couch. Sincero is adamant that you must bridge the gap between your inner work and the outer world with concrete, bold steps. This is where your new beliefs get tested. It's the final exam. Think of it like learning to drive a car. You can read the manual, you can understand the theory of internal combustion, you can sit in the driver's seat and visualize a perfect journey. But until you turn the key, put the car in gear, and press the accelerator, you are not a driver. You are a theorist. And the first time you merge onto a highway, it's terrifying. Your old programming screams, "This is dangerous, pull over." Your new badass programming has to be stronger. Push through the fear and take the action anyway. What does this action look like in financial terms? It could be finally asking for that raise you know you deserve. From an economic perspective, this is simply about correctly pricing your labor. You need to do the market research. What are other people with your skills and experience earning? You need to build a case based on the value you bring to the company. Then, you have to face the potential for rejection. This is a classic case of asymmetric risk. The downside is a no, which leaves you exactly where you started. The upside is a 10% raise, which could mean an extra $5, $10, or $20,000 a year, compounding over your entire career. The cost of inaction is enormous, yet fear keeps most people from ever asking. For entrepreneurs or freelancers, this action is often about raising your prices. This is terrifying for most people. We're afraid clients will leave, that we'll be seen as greedy. But this fear is usually based on our own insecurities, not on market reality. You have to detach your self-worth from your price and look at it objectively. Is your price in line with the value you provide? Is it in line with the market? Often, raising your prices has the opposite effect you fear. It signals confidence and quality. Attracting better clients who are less price-sensitive and more focused on results. It weeds out the clients who were draining your time and energy for very little reward. Another key action is making the decision to invest in yourself. This could be hiring a coach, taking a course, or buying the tools you need to take your business to the next level. This is where we run into another cognitive bias called present bias. We value immediate gratification far more than long-term rewards. Spending $500 on a new gadget feels better in the moment than spending $500 on a course that might increase our income in 6 months. A badass, Sincero argues, overcomes this bias. They make decisions based on where they want to go, not where they are right now. They are willing to make short-term sacrifices for long-term gain. This is a fundamental principle of investing. The entire concept of building wealth is based on delaying gratification. You take money you could spend today and you invest it so that it can grow into much more money for your future self. It requires discipline and a focus on a distant goal. Sincero's badass approach is simply applying that same investor mindset to all areas of your financial life, not just your stock portfolio. And of course, there's the action of starting the business you've been dreaming about. writing the first page of the book, making the first sales call. We often get stuck in analysis paralysis, planning and researching forever because it feels safer than doing. Sincero's advice is essentially to embrace the ready, fire, aim approach. Get started, take messy action, and course correct as you go. The market will give you feedback far more valuable than any business plan. You can't steer a parked car. You have to get it moving first. This is where another economic concept, the sunk cost fallacy, often trips us up. Let's say you've spent 5 years and $100,000 getting a degree in a field you now realize you hate. The rational decision would be to pivot and do something else. But the sunk cost fallacy makes us think, I've already invested so much, I can't quit now. So we continue down a path that makes us miserable financially and emotionally. A badass cuts their losses. They understand that the past investment is gone, and the only thing that matters is making the best decision for the future, right now. The final piece of Sincero's philosophy is perhaps the most difficult for analytical, control-oriented people to grasp: the concept of faith and surrender. After you've done the mindset work, clarified your desires, and taken the inspired action, you have to let go of the outcome. You have to release your desperate, vice-like grip on the how. You've set the destination in your GPS, and you're driving the car. But you have to trust that the system will figure out the best route, even if it includes some unexpected detours. Think of it like planting a seed. You prepare the soil, your mindset. You plant the seed, your intention and action. And you water it, your continued focus. But you can't stand there and yell at the seed to grow faster. You can't dig it up every day to see if it's sprouting. That desperate energy will kill it. You have to have faith in the natural process. You have to trust that the sun and the rain will do their part. You focus on what you can control, tending the soil, and you surrender the rest. In the world of investing, this is the single most important lesson for long-term success. The most successful long-term investors are not the ones who check their portfolio every 10 minutes, trying to time the market and react to every news headline. That's the financial equivalent of digging up the seed. The most successful investors are the ones who make a sound, diversified plan based on their goals and risk tolerance, and then they let it go. They trust in the long-term growth of the economy and the power of compound interest. They have faith in the system. This surrender doesn't mean being passive. It means not getting bogged down in micromanaging the universe. If you've decided you want to make $100,000 a year, your job is to focus on providing $100,000 worth of value. To take the actions of someone who earns that much. Your job is not to obsess over exactly where, when, and how that money will show up. It might come from your job, a side hustle, an unexpected investment return, or a combination of all three. By trying to control the how, you often close yourself off to opportunities you couldn't have predicted. Let's put it all together with a practical example. Imagine a graphic designer named Alex, who is talented but struggling, earning just $30,000 a year. Following Sincero's path, Alex's journey would look something like this. First, the audit. Alex realizes a core belief is creative people aren't supposed to be rich, a story picked up from romanticized portrayals of starving artists. This belief has caused Alex to chronically undercharge and feel guilty asking for money. Second, the reprogramming. Alex starts daily affirmations. I am a successful and wealthy artist. My creativity provides immense value, and I am compensated handsomely for it. Alex creates a vision board with images of the dream studio, the travel destinations, and a bank statement showing a healthy balance. Alex also starts a gratitude journal, writing down 3 things each day: like being thankful for a loyal client or for the software that makes the work possible. Third, the action. Fueled by this new mindset, Alex does market research and discovers that designers with a similar portfolio are charging double or triple the current rates. It's terrifying, but Alex raises the prices for all new clients by 50%. 3 potential clients say no, which stings. But 2 new higher quality clients say yes without blinking. Alex also invests $500 in an advanced course on marketing for creatives. This is scary money to spend, but it's an investment in the future. Fourth, the surrender. After raising prices and starting the course, Alex doesn't just sit by the phone anxiously. Alex focuses on over-delivering for the new clients, knowing that providing incredible value is the most important part of the equation. Alex trusts that by taking the right actions and holding the right mindset, the goal of, say, $70,000 a year will be reached without obsessing over the exact path. Maybe a big retainer client comes along. Maybe the marketing course leads to a lucrative new niche. Alex stays open to all possibilities. In this story, you see the synthesis of the woo-woo and the practical. The mindset work gave Alex the courage to take the economically sound action of correcting a mispriced service. The gratitude practice reduced the fear-based decision-making. The investment in education increased Alex's human capital. And the faith allowed Alex to operate from a place of confidence rather than desperation, which is always more attractive to potential clients. Ultimately, You Are a Badass at Making Money is a manual for aligning your internal world with your external financial goals. It suggests that your net worth is often a reflection of your self-worth. As an economist, I can tell you all about asset allocation, risk diversification, and economic cycles. And that is all critically important. But if your underlying programming is telling you that you don't deserve wealth, you will find a way to sabotage even the most perfect financial plan. You have to fix the foundation before you can build a skyscraper. Sincero's work is about giving you the tools to be the architect and engineer of that foundation. It's about moving from being a passive victim of your financial circumstances to being a conscious, powerful creator of your financial reality.